G'day and welcome to the podcast. My name is Stacey Matthews and today we're diving into an important topic, a subject that is always pushed to the wayside and left to sort itself out: the hidden crisis, men's struggles, and the escalating suicide rates.
The weight of the sky presses down on his chest. His hands are calloused from life's cruel test. Every step forward feels like a climb in a world that tells him he's wasting his time. He hides his tears where no one can see, behind the mask of who he's supposed to be. They say be strong, but never explain how to carry the storm and dance in the rain. Oh, shadows of the stone weigh heavy tonight, carving a man in the absence of light. His scars are the maps of battles untold, a heart made of fire in a world so cold.
In recent months, figures have revealed that the actual numbers show men account for a troubling 78% of all suicides. This heartbreaking statistic underscores a crisis that we often overlook. So today, let's explore an important question. Why are so many men feeling this way and suffering in silence? This topic is close to my heart. The psychology of men has always been of a great interest of mine, which is what spurred me to do my degree in psychology in the first place. For my dissertation, I explored the reasons behind these numbers and how societal pressures, emotional suppression, and the stigma surrounding mental health contribute to this issue. I quickly realized that these conversations needed to happen outside of the academic world. That's why I'm here today, to hopefully foster more understanding and empathy for what men go through. To try and get modern women to properly understand these issues and somehow get them to realize that despite what the narrative and far-right feminism would have you believe, men are not okay. To really grasp the complexity of this issue, it's important to remember that men, like all of us, are dealing with emotions that are often hidden beneath the surface. There's an ongoing tension between wanting to appear strong and also needing to connect emotionally. I wanted to add in here an audio quote from Brené, a renowned researcher and storyteller who spent 2 decades studying courage, vulnerability, shame, and empathy, as it highlights firsthand one of the core issues conveyed by a man she met at one of her book signings.
For men, shame is not a bunch of competing, conflicting expectations. Shame is one. Do not be perceived as what? Weak. I did not interview men for the first 4 years of my study, and it wasn't until a man looked at me one day after a book signing and said, "I love what you have to say about shame. I'm curious why you didn't mention men." And I said, "I don't study men." And he said, "That's convenient." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because you say to reach out, tell our story, be vulnerable. But you see those books you just signed for my wife and my 3 daughters?" I said, "Yeah. They'd rather me die on top of my white horse than watch me fall down. When we reach out and be vulnerable, we get the shit beat out of us. And don't tell me it's from the guys and the coaches and the dads. Because the women in my life are harder on me than anyone else."
And that's a key point. This idea that vulnerability is often seen as weakness, especially for men. They are expected to be stoic, to hold it all together. Real courage often involves showing up with your whole heart, even when it's hard. The challenge for men, though, is balancing this openness without falling into the trap of feeling exposed or judged for showing that side of themselves. So let's break it down. Why are so many men struggling right now? Growing up, many guys are taught that they need to be the providers, the protectors, the ones who have it all together. They're told to man up and not show any weakness. The problem is, bottling up emotions doesn't make them go away. It just builds up pressure, and eventually it takes a toll. And that's where things can get really isolating. When you feel like you can't open up or show what you're going through, asking for help seems impossible. Many men dealing with depression, anxiety, or just everyday stress don't reach out because they've been taught that admitting to struggling is a sign of failure. Sadly, a lot of men who die by suicide never sought professional help, and that's a huge part of the problem. Another big factor is how much society has changed. We're seeing shifts in the job market, family structures, and gender roles. A lot of the traditional, hands-on jobs that men used to do are disappearing, and that can leave many feeling like they've lost their purpose or place in the world. Many men simply don't have the emotional outlets or support systems needed to cope with everything being thrown at them. And then there's social isolation. We all know how social media makes it seem like everyone's connected, but for a lot of men, it's not helping. Real life friendships are harder to maintain, especially as men get older. While women often have strong emotional connections with their friends, men usually don't have that same kind of support network when they need it most. On top of that, there's the stigma around mental health. Men are far less likely than women to seek help when they're struggling, and a big part of that is fear of being judged or seen as weak. The societal expectations that tell men they need to grow a pair or man up make it difficult for them to show any sign of struggling. This stigma keeps so many men from reaching out for therapy or even just talking to someone about how they're feeling. Now let's talk about the challenge men face when trying to balance being stoic with seeking support. Society tells men they need to be strong and unbreakable. And while there's value in resilience, there's also danger in shutting down completely. It's a difficult line to walk. Men are often caught between the desire to maintain their strength and the need to release the emotional weight they're carrying. And with the stigma still surrounding mental health, many feel they can't lean on anyone without losing that strength in the eyes of others. So, what can we do? It starts with changing the conversation. We need to make it okay for men to be strong and stoic, but also to seek support when they need it. It doesn't have to be about choosing between vulnerability and strength. It can be about finding a healthy balance. Whether it's through therapy, talking to friends, or joining a support group, there are ways to connect and find support. We also need to provide more resources for men, both mental health services and opportunities for connection, encouraging guys to build real friendships, offering support during stressful times, and creating programs that help men through life's transitions could really make a difference. At the end of the day, we need to create an environment where men don't feel like they have to carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. It's okay to be strong and to struggle at the same time. Raising awareness, removing the stigma, and encouraging open dialogue are all essential if we want to turn the tide on this growing crisis. If you or someone you care about is struggling, please don't hesitate to reach out for help. There are people and resources ready to support you. Thank you for listening. I am Stacey Matthews. Take care, and I'll see you on the flip side.